Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Hey, it's not just a podcast anymore. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
Welcome, everybody.
Ooh, surfer hands.
Yeah.
I like surfer hands.
I'm hanging.
I don't like it anymore.
Welcome, everybody, to Fueled by Death Show. We are back. It is the companion show to 105. We have a ton of fun stuff planned for this show. Lots of new details, lots of new stuff we're going to get to in just a short moment.
Jeff, I heard through the grapevine that this is the first episode of Season 3.
It is. Episode 105 of the podcast will be the first episode of Season 3. That being, the reason being is that I consider each year of shows that we do, 52 episodes, being a season. So this is the kickoff of Season 3, which is pretty awesome because I can remember all the way back to episode 0 and thinking, is this ever going to work?
I don't think I'll ever forget. Like, that day will always be yesterday.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. As always, I am the Incredible Jeff.
And I am the amazing D-Man.
And if this is your first time joining the show, we try to give away something fun every single week on the show, and this show's no different. I actually have it right here.
Oh, shit. What you got? It's a mug.
It is the 2018 year-long Hammer mug from Deneen Pottery.
Not many more of these.
Not many more of these. That's why we are giving away these pretty much on every show in the last couple shows, just because we're coming to the end of the year. The 2019 mug is right around the corner. If you guys missed that on the Friday live from Death Wish Coffee with Sierra, we showed that for the first time. It's awesome. It's heavy. It's black. It's badass. But, yeah, we've only got a couple left of these, so we wanted to give one away this week. All you got to do, share this show if you're watching live, and drop a comment in those comments. Join the conversation. One lucky comment at the end of the show will be picked to win this mug. D-Man and myself will sign it and send it right out to you.
It's not going to be one of those mean comments, though.
No.
I'm going to assure you that.
You don't like those mean
It
comments.
is random, but if I go, and if you're calling me names, it ain't going to be you, dude. I'm sorry. Trolls don't get mugs. This is just the rule.
It's the truth. And if you guys would be so kind to follow us on social media, we would love it if you did so. First and foremost, I want to say it's real easy to follow Dustin and myself. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
But now you can follow the show. We have actual social media for Fueled by Deathcast on Facebook, right here on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's really easy. We are at Fueled by Deathcast across all platforms. Twitter, it's a little different. It's at Fueled_by_death. But I found out if you just type in Fueled by Deathcast, we come up first in the search.
I mean,
so
just
it's super easy.
In general, when I'm looking for something, I fucking Google it.
Right.
And everything you want comes up. I mean, that's the magic of today.
Of Google. But yeah, so at Fueled by Deathcast, please follow us all over the place because we're going to try to do a lot of fun stuff on all social media platforms.
Please don't follow me all over the place.
Well, all social media.
Oh, okay.
And the show.
Yeah, I didn't want to be like the Pied Piper of crazy people.
No. But yeah, we love social media. And another reason why we love social media is because it is the place where you can follow at Real Christian Slater.
The one and only Real Christian Slater.
Real Christian Slater. And
I heard you got a good movie in the line for
we've
us.
been running down some of his hit movies, some of his not so hit movies. I actually looked it up. I wanted to know.
Oh, I watched True Romance the other day.
You watched True Moments. What'd you think?
It was terrible.
Aww.
It was. Have you watched it recently?
Yeah.
It's so dated.
It's very yes, it's very dated, but it's very Tarantino. I think the dialogue's very good in it.
It was rough, man.
Well, I'm glad you at least watched it.
I did.
Now
I
know
did.
what it is.
I did.
Not
one of Christian Slater's best, but
I was gonna
still great because it's Christian Slater, of
course. And I was gonna say because this is our Christmas episode, basically. This episode is coming out right before the holiday. I literally Googled, again, Christian Slater Christmas movie. I was like, has he ever been in a Christmas movie or a TV show or something like that? He did, and I couldn't find any real media about this. He did a live reading of It's a Wonderful Life. With a star-studded cast. Bill Pullman was the main guy, and like all this other stuff, like star-studded cast, and it was like a reimagining of that story. And Christian Slater played the Bill Pullman's son in the young kid from the movie. And
Okay.
yeah, so that was his only tie to Christmas. But again, there really was no like media for me to really even see because I guess it was aired on television once as like a charity thing or whatever. But so I thought that was cool. But we are going down.
You think with a name like Christian, you do a few more Christmas movies,
Right?
I'm just saying.
We are going down his incredible body of work there, and one of them happens to be one of our favorite movies that we actually mentioned when we first started this whole Christian Slater.
It's like the first
thing.
one of the first movies I think about when you mention Christian Slater.
Broken Arrow. Have you guys seen this movie, Broken Arrow? 1996, all the way back in 1996, a terrorist played by
John Travolta.
steals nukes and is foiled by his pilot buddy there, who is Christian Slater, and a park ranger who's played by Samantha Mathis. Now, Samantha Mathis has been in a bunch of different movies and television shows. You probably know her best as the not Reese Witherspoon from American Psycho. The other blonde, the one that was always on drugs in American Psycho. That's Samantha Mathis.
I just remember the sexual tension between her and Christian Slater.
Very much so.
Thick.
Very, very much so.
Thick.
I have a very short clip without getting in trouble to play from Broken Arrow right here.
You're out of your mind. Ain't it cool?
I'm John Travolta, I'm the bad guy. Well, I'm Christian Slater, and I'm the cool guy. Ah, rocket. I'm John Travolta dying. No.
I gotta just stop playing these clips, and I just gotta be like, and here's a clip, and just cut to you doing that because that's really funny. But yeah, if you guys have never seen this movie, I haven't watched it in forever, so kind of like True Romance. I don't know if it still holds up.
It doesn't.
I don't think it does.
didn't even hold up in '96. I'm sorry.
I'm definitely gonna go check it out again though, because going down these Christian Slater rabbit holes, I'm always thinking about
Never
all
ending.
these different movies.
It's never ending.
Oh man, but we love him. And another person we love out there is our good friend Brock Powell.
BrockFox.com.
Go check him out across all social media as well, at Brock Fox everywhere. He is the voice actor on this show and 1,000 voices out there in the world. We love Brock to death. Hope he's doing well as portraying Santa Claus over there in Disneyland. And I got something pretty important to tell you guys.
What is it, Jeff?
This show is technically the final show of the year.
Oh, wow.
Next week, because of the Christmas season, we are going to be off and not have enough time to put together this show like you're seeing it every single week.
At least not without coming in on Christmas. And you guys don't want to do that, do you?
No. So we're going to do a special treat for you guys next week. Instead of the show like normal, like with all of the different segments that we do and all the fun that we have, we're going to do a short little intro for you, and we're going to premiere our interview next week for next week's podcast. And our interview is incredible. A couple weeks ago, I got to call NASA Mission Control, which was incredible just to say out loud. But they approved an interview that Dustin and myself got to talk with active astronaut Don Pettit.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about the same Don Pettit that invented the zero-G coffee cup in space? The first patent ever in space? That Don Pettit?
Yes. It was such an incredible conversation talking with this guy because he invented the zero-G coffee cup, and it's the first ever patent issued for an invention off Earth.
I said all that.
No,
Jeff.
I know, but it's like to say it out loud, it doesn't even make sense. Like that we've never had that before. Everything that we've ever put into space, we've invented on Earth and sent up there.
And it kind of seems like he's just getting started as far as that goes. But we're really excited to show you guys this episode, and that's why we're putting it out at such a special time of year.
So next week, same time, 7 p.m., right here on Facebook on the Death Wish Coffee Company page, we're going to put out that special interview with Don Pettit, which is going to be the podcast next week as well, but you guys will be able to see it that night before it premieres everywhere on Thursday. And we're going to try something new. Facebook just rolled out this new feature called Premiere, which basically is the same thing as live, but it is to premiere something that you have kind of in your back pocket. So we're going to premiere this with everybody, and I'll be in the comments like normal and be able to tell you about our experience talking with Don and going down to NASA, talking with different astronauts and stuff like that. So I'll still be there, interacting, but it'll be cool to all watch this interview unfold together. I think it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to give it a shot, and it'll be something special for the final show of the year. So look for that next week. You're not going to get a live notification on Facebook, but you will get a same notification. It'll just be saying Death Wish Coffee Company is premiering a video at 7 p.m. So we hope to see you all there. And stick around on this show. We've got a lot of fun coming up. On the update at the end of the show, we're going to show you a brand new product that no one's seen yet.
Oh, man, pants are going to be shat.
Yep. And we're going to roast some Christmas holiday origins, some traditions. We're going to talk about some of our Christmas memories.
Bah humbug.
Yes. And we're going to show you a sneak peek of this week's guest on the podcast premiering tomorrow. You're going to meet this week's Death Star, and we have some deep space science topics coming up right next.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
Oh, man, like we've been talking about, it's the Christmas season, and it's the best season for giving.
Yes.
And that's why if you use the special discount code on deathwishcoffee.com, Shannon, Jeff, spell it.
SHANNON.
That will nail you 15% off of anything on our website over at deathwishcoffee.com. And we got a lot of cool things going on right now.
So many cool things. Every single thing you see on deathwishcoffee.com is available on this discount code all week.
We have so many mugs going on. We have, we have hooks.
Yeah, those mug hooks are so cool.
We have the kettles. We got all sorts of apparel. It's really the best time to get such an awesome discount code. Don't let this slip by. This will be available until Wednesday, December 26th.
Yeah, Shannon, guys, it's that easy. Go on over to deathwishcoffee.com. When you go to that checkout, you're going to see enter discount code here. Just type in Shannon, 15% off of anything you put in your cart all week long. It's pretty exciting.
So exciting.
Science!
All right, D-Man. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in science actually happened last week. And there was just been so many cool things happening in space lately. Like, I have to, kind of pick and choose. Like you said earlier, it's going to probably apparently come to the point where this show is just going to be a science show.
I'm down. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
If we had an all science show,
maybe just the science.
Would you
and
still
the roast.
watch?
Yeah.
Would you still watch? Let us know.
So this happened.
Yeah.
So this happened last week, and it's really, really exciting. Voyager 2 has finally reached interstellar space.
Why does that look like an eyeball?
An eyeball. Well, because this is showing you the edge of the heliosphere. Now, 41 years after Voyager 2 was launched, the spacecraft is now crossing the outer edge of the heliosphere into what is called the heliopause. Now, why this is a boundary is because we've known about this for a little bit. This is the boundary of the solar wind, what we know of as the hot solar wind kind of stops pretty much here. And Voyager 2's twin, Voyager 1, actually crossed this threshold in 2012. The difference now is that some of the instruments on Voyager 2 are still working. Voyager 1 we can still connect with, but most of its instruments are dead.
Why is it just
So many years. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just,
wear and tear
they're
of traveling through space.
This mouse has more computing power than these spacecraft.
Wow.
So I mean,
When
in
did we set
battery
them off?
life in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
Wow.
it's lucky enough that we can even connect with these
Just
things.
a Texas instrument flying out there in the
Exactly.
nothing sphere.
So when Voyager 1 crossed, we knew that it crossed because we can track it and we can see where it is in space. But Voyager 2 is sending us data back, and we're starting to find out that it's providing first of its kind information and observations about the nature of this gateway of passing through the heliosphere. And before we get into it, I have a cool little clip from NASA explaining the Voyager mission right here.
We have ignition, and we have liftoff of the Titan Centaur carrying the first of two Voyager spacecraft to extend man's senses farther into the solar system than ever before.
They were launched in 1977. That's a long time ago. We say 41 years, but it's really two generations ago. You can think of what the technology was. Your smartphone has 200,000 times more memory than what the Voyager spacecraft have. And so it's just exciting that we've been able to get it into interstellar space.
We launched two Voyager spacecraft. They were basically the same, but they were on different paths. Voyager 2 was the one that was chosen to do the grand tour, that is to fly by Jupiter, and then Saturn, and then Uranus, and then Neptune. And then after 1989, we began what is now called the Voyager Interstellar Mission. We were on a path we hoped to get to reach interstellar space while we still had power on the spacecraft to transmit the data back. And that's what Voyager 1 did in 2012, and that's now what Voyager 2 is starting to do in 2018. The sun creates this huge bubble of plasma, ionized material, goes outward at 1 million miles per hour and creates a bubble. And inside the bubble, most of the material has come from our sun, and the magnetic field has come from our sun. Outside the bubble, most of the material comes from other stars that exploded 5, 10, 15 million years ago. We have an instrument which measures the wind coming from the sun, and we saw that in fact there was no longer any measurable solar wind. We had left the bubble, basically.
The team has been looking forward for this for a long time and really working hard in an engineering sense to make this day happen and to keep the spacecraft with all the instruments on so that they could, all 5 instruments could sense the heliopause crossing and have data for that. What that means is that the Voyager 2 spacecraft is now traveling in interstellar space.
Well, this just contributes to the number of discoveries that Voyager has been making, and this is one we'd hoped we would have the chance to do, and fortunately, the SPOS spacecraft were still operating when they reached interstellar space. It's really quite remarkable. Voyager changed our view of the solar system, really. We saw these active volcanic activity on Io, we saw the possibility of ocean on Europa. Just time after time, we were discovering things that we had not really even imagined some years before the Voyager mission. What makes it so exciting is not only do we confirm what we thought we knew, but even better, it tells us where we didn't know that there was something to be discovered.
So that's really, really cool. I'm so enamored with the Voyager mission. It's like our first ever spacecraft that we sent out to really map our solar system, map the planets. You know, some of the first images that we ever got of, you know, close-up images of Jupiter, of Saturn, of Neptune, you know, were from these spacecraft. And even the ability that we can still connect with it is just, it's mind-boggling.
The fact that it's 11 billion miles away. Is that right? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
And we can still connect to this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
How did it travel that far? That is just insane.
Just space.
How did nothing just like blast it out of the air and just completely gone? It's incredible.
It's incredible. And so up until recently, it has been transmitting data and seeing that there's this solar wind. And it's this one instrument called the PLS on the Voyager 2. It's been transmitting, there's this solar wind. And what it does is it detects the electrical current of the solar wind. So now we can find out the speed, the density, the temperature, and that kind of stuff. It observed a very steep decline in these readings starting on November 5th, and since that date is observed no solar wind. So we really know that this barrier exists, and the quote-unquote solar wind only goes so far in the solar system before it just dissipates and it's gone.
I mean, that makes sense. There's got to be a limit somewhere. It's not going to go into infinite.
Forever,
yeah.
right? And so that's really, really cool. The Voyager project scientist, Dr. Ed Stone, who's a researcher at Caltech, said there is still a lot to learn about the region of interstellar space immediately beyond the heliopause. And like you said, D-Man, Voyager 2 is now 11 billion miles from Earth. The mission operators can still communicate with Voyager 2 as it enters this new phase of its journey, but because it's so far away, the communication from Voyager to us moving at the speed of light takes 16 and a half hours.
Wow.
That's how far away this thing is.
So does that mean at the speed of light we can travel 11 billion miles in 16 and a half hours?
Correct.
Oh.
If we had a craft that could go the speed of light, think Star Trek,
Yep.
you could then go to where this is in less than a day. But we have yet to crack that science problem of how do we go that fast.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And the fact is, if we need to get to the places that we see that might be other habitable planets, we're going to need something maybe faster than the speed
Of course. And the other side of that question is, this is getting into completely off topic, but I love it. The other side of that question is even if we find out how to make that propulsion, make a ship go that fast,
How do we not turn ourselves into jelly on the
we
inside?
would die.
Yeah.
How do we survive going that fast?
I'm sure that would be the easy part. I know, as a scientist.
Okay. So we got it. So the easy part is taken care of, NASA. D-Man's got it on lock.
I
We'll
just
survive.
think learning how to travel the speed of light would be way more difficult than learning how to survive the travel of speed of light.
Man, you're probably true, because if we figured it out, we would definitely know, how to counteract whatever it's doing on the hull, and then therefore.
See, it's the easy part, Jeff.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Scientist D-Man over here. The other science story that I had this week that I thought was really good is another deep space spacecraft. The New Horizons spacecraft has taken images of its next destination, and here they are. And again, if you're just listening to this as our mini episode podcast, you can go on over to our Facebook page when this came out, and right on there, I'm going to put some of these pictures up that we're talking about. But these are actual pictures from New Horizon of Ultima Thule. This is its next destination. It was taken by its Long-Range Reconnaissance Imager, or its LORI, the high-resolution camera above this, or on this spacecraft, the New Horizons spacecraft. The Kuiper Belt object, that's where this is 4 billion miles away from the sun. Now, New Horizons is only 24 million miles away from it, which puts it into perspective a little bit. Dr. Hal Weaver from the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory said, as the New Horizons spacecraft closes in on its target, Ultima Thule is getting brighter and brighter in the LORI optical navigational images. These images were taken just 33 hours before the December 2nd course correction maneuver that fine-tuned the trajectory of this craft to get to this destination. Now, what's really exciting about this is that this is in the Kuiper Belt. Now, the Kuiper Belt, think of our asteroid belt, which is between us and Mars. This is the asteroid belt that is outside, basically puts a ring around our solar system.
Okay.
So it's past Neptune, past Pluto. That's the Kuiper Belt. It's the icy, all these balls of icy rock, and we've never sent a spacecraft there to observe anything. Voyager actually skimmed it, but we didn't have anything in place for it to take any data or anything else. It made it there. This is the first spacecraft that we're actually sending there to actually see it. And the mission
It's almost like our universe has its own rings like Saturn.
Yeah, in a sense, it really does. And the mission team of this said, and this is incredible, the maneuver that they performed on December 2nd, it's the most distant trajectory correction ever made, and it was designed to keep New Horizons on track toward its ideal arrival time at Ultima Thule at 12:33 a.m. on New Year's Day of 2019.
Cool.
And it's going to be only 2,200 miles from this body. And this is a huge thing. It's massive. It's 30 miles in diameter. Now, that's more than 10 times larger and 1,000 times more massive than most typical comets that we see in the sky. But to put it in perspective, it's only about 1% the size of Pluto. So just to
tiny.
It's tiny,
but it's
big.
relatively big. But in the giant relative sense of things out in space, it's relatively small.
Right. And it's, like I said, it's the farthest spacecraft flyby in history. Now, if you don't remember what New Horizons is the spacecraft that we sent out to photograph Neptune and Pluto. In fact, back in 2016, that's where we got those high-resolution images of Pluto. For the first time ever, we saw this celestial body look up close and personal, and we've never seen that before, and that's what this took. So since it took that, we were like, okay, let's keep going with it. And literally 3 billion miles away, we told it, hey, go this way now. And we've never manipulated a spacecraft that far out into space.
It must have taken
before.
hours to receive those commands.
Probably.
Yeah.
But mind-blowing stuff.
How?
I don't know.
It's
Math
so
is
crazy.
nuts. Math is nuts. Ultima Thule orbits the sun once every 293 years.
Whoa, okay.
And it, like I said, it's 4 billion miles from the sun and the earth, basically. And so we're going to learn some stuff about the Kuiper Belt. We're going to learn some stuff about this giant icy rock that we never knew, and it's pretty cool that 24 million miles away, New Horizons has already taken pictures of it.
That's crazy. I just wonder when we're gonna get to the point where we're sending things out like this to mine.
Yes.
'Cause
Soon.
we're gonna find. I mean, we're gonna find materials out there that we'll want to bring back, and it may take like 30 or 40 years. But if it's like platinum, gold, just stuff that we would expect to find and kind of need to progress our technology, then, I mean, that's when I think the big change will come.
I think so too, and I think we're going to see it very, very soon because, I mean, we've already announced next year we're starting our trek back to the moon with the idea of actually creating, long-term bases either on it or around it, and then therefore we're going to get to Mars, and we're just going to be starting mining space because we're going to need all these resources once we're out there.
How cool is it going to be when we can break out our telescope and look at the base on the moon and actually be able to see people on there?
Yeah.
How insane is that?
It's coming. It's coming, and we'll talk about it on this show.
Oh, shit.
Good, good. It is a fully operational Death Star of the week.
All right, guys. So, like I started every time, if you're not a fan or friend of the official Death Wish Coffee Company community page over on Facebook, get on it because that's where you can interact with everybody you meet on the Death Star of the Week. And this week, if you've never met Dan Rader, you're going to meet him right now. Dan, thank you so much for joining us on the Death Star segment this week. And I'm going to start like I always do. I want to know, when did you find out about Death Wish Coffee, either the coffee or the company? How did you find out about it, and around what year was it?
I believe it was December of 2014. It was the year or the month you had the free Christmas mug with subscriptions. I think that was around that time.
Yeah.
I was working crazy hours at work, and I went on Amazon, typed in high caffeine, and I found coffee. And you can't really trust everything you find on Amazon.
That's true.
So I went directly to the website, and that's what I figured out was legit. And first order was a subscription, so I get the free mug.
Awesome.
Been ordering it ever since.
Awesome. That's awesome. So before you found the coffee, were you a big coffee drinker?
No, not really.
We converted you.
Yeah. I'd go to Starbucks, but I'd spend like $9 on the cup of coffee that I liked because it was all coffee and a little bit of flavor,
Yeah. So at this point... Oh, I'm sorry. Go on. What'd you say?
It wasn't an everyday thing.
Yeah.
I never...
So at this point... after discovering the coffee, how much coffee do you drink a day?
It varies. I usually do at least a cup a day in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon.
Yeah. What's your go-to brewing method?
I use a Ninja.
Oh, nice.
I have, if you look behind me here, I got a little bit of everything. I got the vacuum and Chemex and all that fun stuff down there, so...
Nice. Yeah, those Ninjas, they are an incredible machine.
Yeah. I mean, taste-wise, it's close to the Chemex.
Yeah.
It's temperature controlled, and it allows it to bloom and all the stuff that you would do for a pour-over. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then you've been with, buying coffee from the company since 2014. I got to ask, you said you got the subscription to get the free mug, so you definitely are a mug collector, right?
Yes.
So that Christmas mug was the first mug in your collection?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Lasted probably a month, and then I got broke at work.
So since then, and with all the collecting you've done, do you have a favorite mug? Do you have a go-to mug?
I don't. I mean, I use them all.
Nice.
Currently, I got the Nevermore going on right now, but I have a ton of just regular Deneen mugs in my collection as well. So
they're such a good company. I mean, I love all the mugs we make from them, but I have now went out and gotten some extra ones like my NASA mug and stuff like that Deneen makes because they just make the coolest mugs.
Yeah, they do.
So then the last question I get to, and I got to know, from someone who has seen what we've done since 2014. So you've been there with us, going to the Super Bowl, going to space, doing all the crazy stuff we've done and all the merchandise we've released. Is there anything that we haven't tried that you'd like to see us try? Merchandise, mugs, anything?
The one thing I always wanted was the hockey jersey. And I was at work when that got released, and I missed it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was really the main thing I was looking for.
Yeah.
Nitro coming back would be a big one.
Well,
For the Nespresso.
yeah, and well, I can comment on all three of those. One, on the Nespresso pods, we've run into a bunch of just not really problems, just development issues. You know, when you're creating a product that we can't do in house, because we obviously at our warehouse do not have the ability to make Nespresso pods without buying, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. So we're working with a third-party company, and it's been a slow-going process. So I really do hope that that's going to happen. But for the hockey jerseys, I can tell you that you are not alone. A lot of people missed out on those because we did a very small run because we didn't really know how well they were going to do. They were a very high-ticket item, but we were really excited about the response. So we are 100% thinking about bringing them back in 2019 at some point. It's just a matter of timing and getting the merch maker to make them and all that kind of stuff. And finally, with the Nitro Brew, we are going to be releasing cold brew in the first quarter, very early in 2019. So that's coming back in full force. We went back to the drawing board with that and made an incredible recipe, a brand new design, new can, new everything. At this stage in the game, it's basically just, you know, making sure all the legalese is right and getting all the designs finalized on all the cans. Because the other side of it is when we release it this time around, the last time that we released a product like that, weren't in retail stores like we are now. So now that we're, you know, in a lot of retail areas, the logical next step is to start thinking about putting it in there as well. So we have to, you know, make sure everything's got the UPC and all that kind of stuff on there.
Right.
Wait, all the stuff above my pay grade. I'm glad I don't have to deal with it. So I mean, all the things that you're hoping for, hopefully we're going to get you in the next year.
I know, that's awesome.
Yeah, that really is. I can't thank you enough for being a fan of the company and for being on the Death Star this week because, you know, I'm always seeing you post and you're always wearing our merchandise or drinking our coffee. And, there it is. I had to ask. Yup, that is amazing. It still gives me chills when I see it. So cool that you put it on your body. I can't thank you enough, Dan, for being on the show today.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
The Fueled by Death guest.
It is time for another Death Wish Coffee Company employee episode. And we were really excited to sit down with our brand new content manager, Shannon Sweeney. Shannon joined the team in April, but it feels like she's been here forever. She fit right in immediately.
Yeah. If I'm ever gonna hear, hey Dustin, would you like to smash something with me? It's gonna be Shannon.
It's the truth.
Which is great.
It's the truth. And we sit down and talk to her about what it was like joining the team here at Death Wish, what she did before, what she did in school. When she was in college, she went to Penn State. She worked for a very famous newspaper, the college paper down there. We talk about her father, who happened to be an NFL player, which was a pretty fun
for a
to talk
long
about.
time too.
Very, very long time. And so much fun. We always have fun when we get to have the employees in here and learn a little bit more about what it's like to be here at Death Wish Coffee and all the different people that make this company so eclectic and awesome. So that episode's coming out tomorrow, but I got a sneak peek with our interview with Shannon right here. Please name your least favorite employee. Go.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
You.
Yay!
Shit.
Coming out swinging.
How about your
Coming out
favorite?
swinging.
What's your favorite?
You!
Oh!
It's because you like to smash stuff, and I like smashing stuff.
Oh,
We do
my
have that in common.
We do.
You're always the first person to be like, hey Dustin, I have a pumpkin. Would you like to smash it with me? And I'm like, do I?
And then I whiff when I try to smash said pumpkin.
You know,
but
everybody thinks smashing's easy, but it's an
really
art
not.
form. It's, you know, it takes accuracy, it takes ruthlessness, it takes
anger.
lots of anger.
Insanity.
Lots of anger.
I'm very surprised at the time that I've been here, the amount of smashing that's went on at Death Wish Coffee, and I always think like when we smash something big, like pumpkins or cans of stuff or whatever it is, you know, like I always think, oh man, this will probably be the last time this will happen because the bosses will get mad or something will happen. It's like, nope, we'll just go bigger and smash more things the next time. So
Yep.
I think Mike likes smashing
I think
things
he does too.
I think he does too.
Hey, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right?
I feel like whenever I don't know if you've experienced being out in the wild with our fearless leader, Mike Brown. But I feel like whenever we're out and about with him, it's always this sense of like, I want to make trouble. I don't know why.
I don't think it's that he wants to make trouble. I think
No, I want to make trouble when I'm with him.
Because I think Mike just enjoys Mike is one of those guys who just enjoys life. He's out in the crowd and he wants to enjoy that crowd.
He's an enabler. Is what I'm saying.
So he waits for someone like you to go, let's start trouble, and he goes, sure, go trouble, start.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So what I'm saying is that we'll never stop smashing things, Jeff.
It's true.
As long as we have Mike as our leader.
Mike is a great leader.
People like Shannon and I will thrive in the smashing
Exactly.
department.
So, Shannon, let's talk about how long you've been here now for 9 months?
I think around there since April.
So about 9 months. And I mean, what is exactly, for everybody who's watching and listening, what is your role here at Death Wish God?
Yes. So I am the content manager, which basically means anything that has any kind of like written word on it probably comes across my desk. So blogs, product copy, emails, social media. I help Sierra out with that as well as video content. So we're trying to do more videos and Facebook Lives, things like that. I play a role in that too. So it's a little all-encompassing, kind of dip my toes in every aspect of marketing, but it's really fun.
Happy birthday! Surprise! I'm naked.
All right, birthday time. Got a bunch to get through this week. On Thursday, December 20th, Suzuka Nakamoto is turning 21 years old, and you might know her by her stage name, Sue Metal. If you guys have never heard of this band, Baby Metal, go to YouTube as soon as you're done watching this show.
Can we play like a little clip?
We'd probably get in trouble.
Okay. Sorry, guys. No clips. You have to check it out.
Go check out. Just type in Baby Metal into your search bar in YouTube and check it out. It's what's called kawaii metal. And the reason being is because it blends Japanese metal and Japanese pop, which is called J-pop.
Yep.
And into this new form of craziness. It's crazy.
Great.
It took the internet by storm a couple years ago.
Yeah.
In fact,
So good.
Rob Halford of Judas Priest, I think, cut a record with them because he just couldn't believe his eyes and ears after seeing it. And she's turning 21. I mean,
I think they were like 14.
Yeah, she's already toured the world multiple times with a
crazy.
metal band, which was my dream forever. And this 21-year-old Japanese chick. But a happy birthday to her.
Happy
on
birthday.
Thursday. On Friday, we have a pair of badasses on Friday, December 21st. First up, Samuel L. Jackson, turning the big 7-0. Does not look a day over 30.
No, still looks like a young motherfucker.
Oh, my God. So many good roles. I mean, obviously, what comes to mind is Pulp Fiction.
There it is.
His first role ever was, or his first major role was Coming to America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the guy who tries to hold up the McDowells.
Oh, right.
And Eddie Murphy beats him up with a mop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I
that was
didn't
like
even know that.
It was one of his first roles ever.
Wow.
But I mean, he's been in the Star Wars universe. He's been all over the place.
Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane. I saw that opening night in the theaters. It was a lot of fun because everybody was there knowing it was just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So much fun. We all applauded when he said, I need to get these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane. Everybody in the theater got up and applauded that line. It was
That's
freaking
great.
amazing. I have to bring it up, though. You guys know I'm a nerd. I have to bring it up. I love it. Sam Jackson is Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe, and he kills it as that role. He's awesome. Love or hate the movies, love or hate anything. The role he was born to play was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the eye patch. Just incredible. And also on Friday, December 21st, another badass, Jesus himself, Mr. Tom Payne, is turning 36 years old.
Now, for those of you who don't know, he's not actually Jesus, but in the walking...
Yet.
Yeah. He may be reborn one day. But in the walking stalking world, Walking
Walking
Dead, I've just... You know what?
Walking Dead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
It is on The Walking Dead. Tom Payne portrays the character of Jesus, and he is a badass on that show as well. He
Karate.
can karate anybody, and we were lucky enough to moderate a panel with him at the Walker Stalker just
What
recently.
a good picture, huh?
Yeah, me and Dustin there with Ross Marquand and Tom Payne, and it was just a lot of fun. Such a nice dude, I can tell you that for real. He really is very nice and very British.
Yeah, I think like 90% of the people on Walking Dead are very British.
Yes.
Hey,
they're good actors. What can you say?
They're great at not being British. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday, December 26th, there he is. Kit Harington is turning 32 years old. Kit Harington, obviously, I don't even call him Kit Harington anymore. He will always be Jon Snow.
The bastard of Winterfell.
For the rest of his life, he will be Jon Snow. He's going to have a great career. Game of Thrones is ending. This last season is coming in 2019.
Oh, yeah, it is the last one.
Yep, it'll be over, and he's only he just turned 32. He's got a great career ahead of him. He's a great actor. He really has a lot of gravitas when he's on screen, so he'll probably play a ton of different awesome roles.
Gravitas.
Yeah.
Gravitas,
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah.
There's your 1950 words again.
But, I mean, he's going to have a ton of iconic roles, I'm sure, in
Yeah,
his career.
yeah.
He'll always be Jon Snow.
Always.
Always be Jon Snow, and we hope he has a happy birthday. Finally, next Thursday, December 27th, I have to shout this out because next week the show's completely different. We're going to do that special airing of our interview with astronaut Don Pettit, so we're not going to have a birthday segment, but I cannot not wish our fearless leader, Mr. Mike Brown, a happy birthday.
Mugs up, everyone.
On December 27th.
Mugs
up.
I'm drinking tea. I feel like this is blasphemous.
It's okay. You don't want to be under the weather for the holidays. I get it. But yes, everyone, remember, mark it on your calendars. Thursday, December 27th. Wish a very happy fucking birthday to Mr. Mike Brown on that day, because without him, none of us would be here.
Yeah, I'd be totally...
Yeah,
I'd
it'd be like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
If there's no Death Wish.
Right.
Which is the movie I don't want to see. But a happy birthday to all of them, and a happy birthday to all of you celebrating a birthday this week.
I smell a roast.
So, in keeping with our holiday tradition, this being the show that hits right before Christmas, we are roasting Christmas. Christmas the holiday. Christmas as it was and now as it is. Christmas, we all know the basics of Christmas. The one side is religious, celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. The other side is commercial. Santa Claus, the jolly man with his 8 reindeer, come and goes around the world to deliver presents to the good boys and girls of the world. We know that. But how did it start? Where did this all come from? Well, like many things, it came from ancient people. Ancient people, and mostly the pagans, but ancient people of Europe and the British Isles and stuff, they celebrated the winter solstice.
I feel like every year I always rave about the mushroom and the sacred cross, talking about how Christmas originated from the Amanita muscaria mushrooms and their rituals to take them on this day.
Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so the Amanita muscaria mushroom is it has psychotropic effects.
Think of the mushroom that Mario eats to get big in Mario Brothers. It looks just like that.
Which is red and white. And
Right.
as you see behind us, the stockings are red and white. And where do you hang those stockings?
Above the fireplace.
Where would you dry out mushrooms back in
Above
the
the
day?
fireplace.
Oh, and little gifts under a tree. And what does that tree support the life of?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms that grow under the tree.
It's all
Jeffrey.
mushrooms, man.
And the idea is that Santa Claus actually originated as this shaman idea. And there's also talk about reindeer loving the Amanita muscaria mushroom. There's actually recorded, I talk about this all the time, but you can't talk about it too much because it's so cool. There's actual reported deaths from people being trampled by reindeer.
Yeah, who are high on the mushrooms, right?
Who were high on the mushrooms and peeing in the snowbank.
Yeah.
Because when your body processes it and you pee, it's actually stronger.
Yeah.
So the reindeer smell it, run to it so fast, they kill the people pissing in the snowbanks. And there are recorded deaths of that happening.
It's crazy. And
Christmas, people!
I didn't even put that in the notes because I knew you knew it. And I wanted to bring that
it's
up.
on there. I love
What's
it.
the name of the book again?
I think it's the mushroom, the sacred cross.
I will put it in this show so you guys can see
if
it.
I'm wrong, it's close to
It's
that.
close to that. I'll find a picture and I'll put it in the show. But anyway, back, like I said, celebrating the winter solstice was a thing. It was around this time of year because, you know, the days got longer. There was more sunlight happening. So it was a time for celebration. In Scandinavia, actually, one of our favorite areas where the Vikings were and the
Yule,
Norse,
and they burn their Yule log and eat their Yule ham.
they would celebrate Yule. It started on December 21st and then would go through January because in recognition
Is
of
this a depiction of Yule?
Yes.
This is how they party?
Yes. Well, in celebration of the return of the sun, basically, fathers and sons would bring home these large logs, and then they would set them on fire, and they would then they would basically have a big feast as these things would burn. And sometimes they would take up to 12 days to burn.
Wow.
This would be a full tree
Yeah.
that they'd bring back. And the Norse believed that each spark from this tree represented a new calf or a new pig that would be born in the next year. So they celebrated this as like the rebirth of their harvest, the rebirth of the next year. You know, it was a celebration of life returning.
You think they all cheered and drank whenever there was a
course.
crackle?
Of course.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah.
That's a fun way to celebrate.
And another reason why there's so much celebration is during this time.
There was no TV.
Yes, there wasn't. But during this time, during the winter solstice, was a time that many livestock, like cattle, were slaughtered for their meat because you didn't want to feed your entire livestock through the winter because it was hard enough to feed yourself.
Yeah.
And this was the first time in the year for many communities that this was the first time they had fresh meat of that year, which is pretty crazy. At the exact same time as well, this would be near the end of the year would be when the mead or the beer or the wine that they had made through the year had fermented enough to be able to be drank. So you got fresh meat and you got alcohol.
Can you imagine how great that was?
Time to party, yeah.
Can you imagine just like starving? You're just waiting for the excitement of Yule because you know you're just going to have all the meat and all the meat you want. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
You're going to eat mushrooms and get ran over by reindeer.
In a little bit of the warmer areas, like in Rome, they celebrated a holiday around the same time called Saturnalia, and this was celebrating again the winter solstice and celebrating their god Mithra, and they observed this actually on December 25th. And they take all of these different things that are being celebrated all across Europe and all that stuff, and when early Christianity comes into play, they want to get rid of all those. They want everybody to practice their religion, and they want to get rid of all their stuff, but they want to kind of incorporate everybody easily.
The Borg had a word for this.
Assimilation. So, early Christianity, they decided to assimilate. And in early Christianity, there was no feast day for the birth of Jesus. In fact, in the Bible, no date is given of the birth of Jesus. And it wasn't until the 4th century that Pope Julius I actually instituted the feast day on December 25th, again, to assimilate all these other people into still celebrating this around the same time that they did, just celebrate our religion and not yours. It was that kind of
Do you think we'll
deal.
ever get another religion in our lifetime?
We did.
That will assimilate all these...
I don't know about assimilate because, you know, the old-timey religions have had hundreds and hundreds of years. But, I mean, if you look at Scientology and the amount of leaps and bounds that has made just in the decades that's been around, think if Scientology's been around for hundreds of years, maybe.
Yeah.
But you have to look at, like, Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism has been around for centuries, eons. They have lots of time to grab hold of humanity, you know. Like,
yeah, that's true. It doesn't really happen in a lifetime.
No, it takes a long, long time. By the Middle Ages, Christmas was actually widely celebrated and very similar to Mardi Gras, a drunken carnival-like atmosphere where everybody would party in the streets, and then they would take a student or a beggar and crown them the Lord of Misrule. And they'd parade them around, and the poor would actually go and knock on the doors of all the rich people and demand their best food. And if they didn't get their best food, they would play tricks on their houses or give them vandalism.
So it's trick or treat.
Basically,
It's cabbage
trick-or-treat.
night. It's devil's night.
Christmas at that time was a time of year when the upper class could repay either their real or their imagined debt to society by entertaining people with lesser wealth. So it was a good time. Then fast forward to the 17th century, again with religion, the Puritans took over in England, and they basically banned Christmas. They were like, nope, we don't, because of all the reveling, because of all the debauchery and all that stuff, they were like, nope, no more, we're the Puritans. And then obviously coming over to America, many of the early colonies were Puritan-based, so Christmas wasn't celebrated in America for a very long time. In fact, it was banned in Boston until 1681.
Huh. Weird.
And it wasn't actually until the 19th century that America started to embrace and actually change the holiday of Christmas forever. Author Washington Irving wrote the Sketchbook of Geoffrey Cran. And in that story, it told of a squire who invited peasants into his home during Christmas, and everyone got along, which was not the case in reality, but it showed people, oh, could be a time where everybody can get along and be happy and, have a kind of a Merry Christmas. Around this exact same time, the English author, Charles Dickens, wrote the very famous A Christmas Carol. And in that, obviously, the story's message is the importance of charity and goodwill towards humankind. It struck a very powerful chord with the upper class of the Victorian era of that time. The idea of family was becoming less disciplined and more sensitive during this time as well. It was always looked down upon to spoil your children. But during Christmas time, it was encouraged. So it was a time that parents could actually give gifts, lavish gifts onto their children and not be, ostracized by society for it.
Right, okay.
Which is pretty crazy. Americans continued to shape the holiday into what it is today, including decorating trees, sending holiday cards, gift giving, and even Santa Claus. Now, Santa, his earliest mention is the actual monk, St. Nicholas, in 280 AD. Many, many stories became legend about this guy. He gave away all his worldly possessions. He helped out all the poor. He was just this really nice monk. And so this legend of St. Nicholas came to be. And Santa basically came into popular culture thanks again to the author, Washington Irving, who called him the patron saint of New York. And at the time, New York was heavily populated by the Dutch community, and the Dutch called him Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas.
Which we obviously made into Santa Claus. And Santa shot up into popularity after that, thanks to the Salvation Army. In the late 1800s, around 1890, they started sending out people dressed as Santa Claus to get donations. Also, Clement Clark Moore in the late 1800s wrote "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," one of the most iconic imageries of Santa Claus there is. And Coca-Cola in the 1930s actually used Santa as their spokesman, and he was their spokesman. And to this day,
the real Santa?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, to this day, Santa Claus hawks a lot of Coca-Cola, for sure. Couple fun facts I found. Each year, 30 to 35 million real Christmas trees are sold in the United States alone. There are 21,000 tree growers in the United States, and they let them grow at least 15 years before they are sold.
Wow.
Harkening back to our science segment this week, engineers on the Voyager spacecraft missions did the math and made sure that each Voyager spacecraft would not have any planetary, it wouldn't have any, what is the word I'm looking for? Planetary encounter during the times of Thanksgiving or Christmas. So the people who were working on the missions didn't have to be away from their families. And they made sure that the math was correct, so it would only be like encountering Jupiter any other time than that. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. We build everything around Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Another thing that's a tradition that has been lost on a lot of people that I want to bring back is it used to be a very big tradition in Christmas to tell scary ghost stories as a family on Christmas Eve.
I guess you get a little bit of that with the Charles Dickens story.
A little bit. Yes,
Yeah.
that is where that stems from, actually.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool to get back into that tradition and everybody tells their favorite scary ghost story, because we save that for Halloween. Why not do it on Christmas too? I don't know.
Let's just do it all the time. Let's just talk about scary shit wherever we go. That's a great idea.
And we frequently, another misconception out there, we frequently abbreviate Christmas as Xmas, and a lot of people are like, you're taking Christ out of Christmas. That's not actually the case. X is the Greek letter chi, which is actually the abbreviation of the word Christ in Greek.
Yeah.
So we're keeping it.
So
we're
eat
just
it,
abbreviating.
you son of a bitch. Relax.
And I did throw out to our community, again, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fueled by Deathcast, because for some of these segments, I'm going to ask questions of you guys and feature you guys on the show. And one of the questions I asked was, did you have any fun memories of Christmas morning? And I did get some funny ones. Fan of the show, Martha Hernandez, says, I remember one year I was feeling like I was around 10. There was no snow, and it was about 40 degrees below zero with the wind chill. So my brothers and I found our grandparents' Frisbee, got into full snow gear, and attempted to play. You can imagine what full snow gear Frisbee looks like, right? Yeah, it looks pretty sad, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
Because those old school snowsuits, too, the ones that you can't move in.
Yeah,
Starfish. Oh, my gosh. Another fun story from Tracy Leach. Tracy says, when my brother and I were little, our cat climbed the Christmas tree, knocking it to the ground and smashing the majority of the ornaments. Lots of glass ornaments. This was the 70s. It was the morning of my parents' annual Christmas party with 30 to 40 people coming over that evening. Dad was already at work. My mother yells, "What was the noise?" In unison, my brother and I respond with nothing. And then now picture an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old sweeping up a mess and attempting to prop the 9-foot tree back up. Needless to say, Mom came downstairs to find my brother and I working the hardest we ever worked in our little lives. And when I think back on it now, it was adorable, but at the time, not so much. Needless to say, we didn't have pets again until we were in college.
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's pretty crazy. So, do you have a fun Christmas morning story that you or a silly one?
I feel like Christmas was always a time for pranks. And my uncles, my father, my brother were always in on pranks, and I always get like the tiniest gift wrapped in the biggest box, tied to a cinder block, you know? So it'd be like, oh, what is this? This is big and awesome and heavy. What is this? And I'd open it up, and it'd be like, you know,
a cassette tape.
Or $20 taped to the inside. I remember taped to the inside of the cinder block. But I remember specifically and I've used these before here around the office because I don't know, I guess I was born into it, but those little firecrackers that go off when you pull the strings apart.
Yeah, like party poppers.
Right.
And a bunch of confetti comes out.
No
like
confetti, just a loud bang. And you'd always get gifts that looked like weird contraptions, and you'd pick it up and try to figure out, and then it would explode. And that was Christmas.
That's awesome. The one story I always gravitate towards, and my cousins will never let me live this down either. Either will my mother. We were at Christmas at my grandparents' house, and it was like the end of the night, and my grandparents were all excited to give me this final present that they were really excited for, and they handed it to me, and it was just about a long rectangle of a present, and I was a young kid. I was probably 8 at the time, maybe even a little bit younger, and I looked at it, and I just screamed, "I don't want socks," and I threw it I hucked it across the room.
You little bastard.
Made my grandmother sad. My mom frickin' spanked me and yelled at me and everything.
Good.
Turns out it wasn't socks. It was the most badass ET watch ever, and I wore it forever. It was so cool. It was just like a normal watch, but the face was ET, you know, like on it, and I was such a big ET fan. It was the cool. I felt terrible, and I still feel terrible.
Yeah, I was about to say you should still feel terrible about that.
And you know, in the comments, give us some of your favorite Christmas stories as well. Christmas morning, you know, we all have fun stories. We all have some weird, crazy stories, and we're always making new memories. And here on Fueled by Deathcast, I wanted to make a new Christmas morning memory ahead of Christmas morning, right here as a Fueled by Deathcast memory. And I got you a Christmas present.
Stop it. Oh my God!
Is a Christmas present.
It says D-Man on it.
This is a Christmas present for D-Man, and it's kind of an inside joke, which we'll explain when he opens it. But he didn't know I was doing this.
Wait, I didn't. That's he
doesn't have anything for me. We didn't plan this.
You're making me look like a jerk in front of everybody. That's my Christmas present, isn't it? All right, let's see what's in here. Oh my God. Pure Moods.
I got him the Pure Moods CD because for the entire year, if any of you know what this CD is, Dustin will just randomly break into song of most of the songs off this CD.
I do it right
95.
now, but my throat hurts. I couldn't handle it.
It's fine. It was one of those CDs back in the mid-'90s where it was like the infomercials, like order now and get all these amazing Enya's on it, and like
every other song is Enigma.
Yeah, Enigma. Yeah, all these songs.
Of course, it opens up with Return to Innocence.
Return to Innocence. That's the song. In fact, when we went out on our trip to L.A. for a week, when we were stuck in a car with each other forever, we'd be in L.A. traffic, and you would just break into this always. So I found it online.
Merry Christmas, Jeff.
Merry Christmas, Steven.
Oh,
I
man.
wanted to get it for you. So now you have it forever.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
How do you play CDs nowadays?
So as this is our Christmas episode, and we will be back obviously next week with a different type of show, but we still will be back. I just want to take the time and wish all of you guys a Merry Christmas out there and a Happy New Year, and hope you have a wonderful and happy holiday season.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
It's finally here. They're finally here. The Frau Perkta mug set. Our final mug release of 2018.
Look how beautiful they are.
Oh,
Jeff.
they're so great. They're, for the first time ever, a right-hander and a left-hander. And like we've been saying before, this is the Frau Perkta, which is a Germanic folklore where during this time of year, if you're a good little boy or girl, she appears to you as a beautiful goddess, and she gives you silver coins. And if you're bad, she appears to you as a witch, and she cuts open your stomach and fills you with straw and rocks.
Yeah, that's my go-to move.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get this set. If you guys were a coffee subscriber, it was released a day early today, but tomorrow is the release, and we're so excited for it. It'll be live on the site tomorrow morning as soon as the email goes out. Usually around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you haven't yet, join the text list. Text MUGS to 484848. And as soon as these go live on the site, you'll get a text message with a link right to buy them right to your smartphone. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, I'm excited for these because I love the sets. The colors are just so cool. Like the black with the greenish yellow, and then the yellow with the greenish white.
They're so appropriate.
So appropriate. It's pretty neat. They're about 14 ounces. They're a little smaller, obviously, than the last ones that we did. Do you know, is it 3,500-ish sets?
Yeah.
Around there. So they're going to go quick. Hopefully. Hopefully you guys like them. And so they're going to be announced tomorrow. Get on it. Set your alarms and buy yourself a nice little thing of mugs. Just know that even though we're releasing these before Christmas, you probably won't get them on Christmas. Shipping is your cutoff day was December 14th. Shipping is crazy around this time of year. You know,
good luck.
So good luck, but they will come. You know, a little bit after. We've been talking so much about Christmas and talking so much about everything that's been coming out for the holiday. We keep forgetting the end of the year is right around the corner. I know we do something fun at the end of the year.
Yeah, it'll be a giant clearance sale with lots of cool things.
Whoa. Giant clearance sale. So, okay. So that means, are we going to put stuff that's on the site that you see now on a little bit of a discount?
Yes.
Are we going to bring back stuff you don't see?
Yes.
Oh, ho, ho. Can we have any hints, D-Man?
Well, we're going to see some of our previous diner mugs make a return.
Cool.
Not that many, just a few. So if there are diner mugs that you missed that you want, get on there early.
Yes.
If you miss some patches, we'll be selling a bundle of patches that were all the past patches, which will be very cool. That's something that I was excited to do.
Very cool. So you patch collectors out there, this will be the time to get them all at once.
And of course, we're going to have some old school returns of the Deneen mugs.
Nice.
Yeah, including the Old Man Winter mug.
Ooh, the winter mug from last year.
Yeah.
Very cool. So if you didn't get a chance to get that, we found a couple. Now again, this is a clearance sale, so it's going to happen very, very close to December 31st at the end of the year, and that's the whole point. It's a clearance sale. So some of these items, like you said, we only have a handful of. They're going to go
13,
like that.
14, 30.
It's that get it out of there. We don't want it in our warehouse anymore. Sale.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're really excited about that. Finally, I got something to show you guys that a lot of you have been asking for. We're going to release this early in 2019, right? Early 2019, I think we're releasing this?
Yes.
And it's just been something everybody's been asking about is when are we going to come out with more merchandise around Valhalla Java? Here it is. The brand new 2019 Valhalla Java hoodie. It's got that awesome Odin Force logo on the back, the one you see on the bag, which is so cool. And then on the front, is that Valhalla Java like shield emblem. Ugh. And it's the same kind of hoodies, you know, that we've been releasing, that same quality. Really, really great stuff. This is a pullover, not a zip down. And knowing what we do, maybe next year we'll make a zip down Valhalla Java hoodie. Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, that is just excellent. I can't wait. So many people have been asking, I want more Valhalla Java merchandise. I want more Valhalla Java merchandise.
Well, listen, you're going to get it in 2019 beginning.
This is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. I know that we have a lot of plans for Valhalla Java in 2019.
So exciting.
You're asking for it. You're going to get what you want. And here's the first little article of clothing that we shall offer to thee.
We're so excited for it. So get ready for that. Right after the first of the year, we'll be talking more about that. And tune in every week for more updates about cool stuff from Death Wish Coffee. And that's the show, everybody. I want to reiterate, though, one final time, if you haven't shared this episode, share and drop a comment. One lucky comment will win this mug signed by D-Man and myself. It's a 2018 Hammer mug. And next week is going to be a little different. Next week, the show will still go out at 7 p.m., but it will not be the show that you see every week because we're not going to have enough time to put it all together because of Christmas. But we're going to give you a special premiere of our podcast episode next week with active NASA astronaut Don Pettit, the inventor of the Zero-G Coffee Cup. We had such an incredible conversation with him. I cannot wait for you guys to see this, and we're going to show it to you Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Death Wish Coffee Company Facebook page. And instead of being live, it's going to be their brand new Facebook's brand new feature premiere. So you're going to get a notification that says Death Wish Coffee Company is premiering a video. Just tune in. Enjoy the interview with Don. I'll be in the comments as normal, so you can ask me questions about it and stuff, and it should be a lot of fun. Finally, don't miss tomorrow's podcast episode with our content manager, Shannon Sweeney. That is a lot of fun with her, and that premieres everywhere podcasts can be found tomorrow. And finally, don't miss it. Follow us on all social media. We are at Fueled by Deathcast everywhere, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And we hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a very happy holiday. And we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Holiday cheers.